What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the other side of the Firewall podcast, where we talk about the latest and greatest of cybersecurity news, as well as we highlight those movers and shakers and glass ceiling breakers, those people of color who made it to the other side of the proverbial firewall. My name is Ryan Williams, and as always, I'm joined by Shannon Tynes.
What's up? What's up?
What's going on? So continue to tune in throughout the week. So again, Monday and Tuesday are topics, Wednesday discussion, Thursdays Ask CISSP. I have one coming up with Lynn Dom from WESIS. I thought it was a really good conversation. And then Fridays, everything else, movies, books, games, all that good stuff. That's what today is. So if you came here for the cyber, there's almost none of it. This is everything else. But this is one of our I don't advertise this episode on LinkedIn, but it gets more views than the ones I advertise on LinkedIn. So, hey, there it is. So, yeah, definitely hit us up on all the websites. Look at all of our content throughout the weeks. Come back because we're a cast of 4. So both Daniel and Chris will be back. In some combination. You will see some of us in some combination, right? Throughout the weeks. And yeah. So Shannon, how was your week?
Man, I was sick this week, so hence me missing last week's episode. I was sick this week, but I did more. It was more of the TV watching me than me watching the TV. You know what I'm saying? So it was more of let me turn something on and then lay down. You know what I mean? But no, it was an okay week. Besides that, there was some stuff I was watching. So I started watching this show. It's called The Day of the Jackal on Peacock, right? And it's got Eddie Redmayne and the female lead actor. She's been in other stuff. I can't remember her name. But I don't know, man. I'm like 1.25 episodes in. And I think for me, I don't like British-based movies, I guess you would say. Like, it's like kind of like a spy thing. So like, I'm guessing this guy, the Jackal, is a renowned assassin. I guess they're going to get to that at some point, right? But he like it. This is where they get me. They always start out like gangbusters. Like when it starts out, it's just like, oh my god, that was awesome. Like,
well, it's flying.
This dude took a shot that the lady from MI6. She's like, that's impossible. Like when she saw where it came from and how he did it, she's like, that's impossible. She's like, the longest recorded is this many meters. Like he was beating it by over 1,000 feet for the shot that he took. And it was amazing how he did it. Like there was a setup to it, right? So like he got this person to go to this certain place by, getting at one of their family members, set them up. He knew where they were going to be at the location set. So I was like, okay, this is starting off really good. And then it slows down. And then it's just like, okay, why are we at this point? You know what I mean? Like keep going with more of that. So like I said, in the second episode, I'm like a quarter of the way through, and I'm like, I'll probably watch it. My thing is to give it 3, but I'm starting to come back. I'm starting to come down on it. I don't like doing the 3 now. And
yeah, it's too much.
Just
like I feel, I knew at 1 or 2 is what you probably think in your head.
Percent. Like if it's one that I passed on, I was like, yeah, I knew it after the first 10 minutes. I can't say the first 10 minutes because they keep drawing me there.
Right. So I think you're talking about Lashana Lynch, British
There
actor.
it is, Lashana Lynch. Yes.
So she was in Doctor Strange, No Time to Die, James Bond flick,
Yep,
right?
James Bond, yep.
And Captain Marvel. So yeah, she The Woman King. Oh yeah, I remember in The Woman King, which excellent movie. I don't know if you've seen it yet.
I haven't. I noticed it's streaming.
Man.
That's the one with Viola Davis you're talking about, right?
It was so good. I saw it. So when I was in Turkey, I saw it in theaters. And I'm trying to put my wife onto it. She was like, "Yeah, at some point we're gonna watch it." But I'm just like, "Oh, it was so." I watched it again. Like I rarely watch movies more than once, unless it's like a nostalgic classic. I was like, "That was great."
I think I saw it on Hulu. It was on one of my streaming services I went by, and it was showing up, and I was like, "Oh, it's like okay." But yes, her.
Yeah,
and,
but now that you said, yeah, I did see the trailer, but now I'm not even gonna give it a shot.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I was like, let me try it, right? Like I find myself being an old curmudgeon to where I'm like, I don't want to watch that. Back in my day, it was Schwarzenegger and Stallone, and that's all you needed, like
right.
Squibs going off everywhere. Like I'm trying to be more open to things, but I'm like, it's just not what I like. But I want to give it more. Because her and Eddie Redmayne are both executive producers on it as well.
Okay.
Right. So I'm like, all right, let me give it a shot. And I'll probably finish the second episode and be like, no, I don't want to do it.
Right.
Then there was another show my wife and I started watching because she wasn't feeling well this week either. It's one of those things where it like ran through the house, like put the sickness, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like my youngest, my daughter wasn't feeling good Saturday, and then like Sunday, like we all woke up like, It's just not good. You know what I mean? And then it just carried on. We started watching this show. It's got Zachary Quinto. I don't know how you say his name. Quinto, I think he's playing Spock in the new Star Trek. The guy plays Spock. Brilliant Minds is the TV series.
Okay, I saw the trailer. I'm just like,
yeah. I should have done the same. Like, it was one of those things where my wife and I spent more time together this week because I was home, you know what I mean? And she was home. So it was like, hey, what do you want to do? And so we started this series, and it starts out good. It really does start out really good. And then, like, there's a lull that I'm like,
gotcha.
And my wife can tell. Like, the thing is, she can tell, right? Because, like, I'll probably be sitting there, and then all of a sudden I pick up my phone and do something. She's like, you're not feeling it, are you? I'm like, oh.
Well, I think that's just...
I'm here for you, baby.
Yeah. I think that's just modern writing. Like, that's the thing. The first one has to be a banger to hook you, and then we can slow it down and get you on the story for the next 2 or 3. And then in the middle, we got to hook you again, and then get you to the end where we hook you again for next season. So
yeah. But yeah, it's I don't know. Whenever my wife and I are together, I'll probably ask, do you want to watch Brilliant Minds? And then they're like,
yeah, the trailer lost me when he was taking, like, so his patient is tripping on some kind of drug, so he took the drug. And I'm just like, he would be fired. Like, it's just an automatic ethics issue.
So here's the thing. You say that he was fired. Very first episode, he was fired from his job, and he had to go somewhere else. But he hasn't been at this other place. At the time he's hired on to the other place. But the first hospital he worked for, they're like, yeah, no, we ain't having this.
You can't take drugs.
Well, so here's the thing. That one happened at the new place, at the new one.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
He did something different to get fired from the first place. But again, that was in the first episode, and that's how they hooked you. I'm like, oh, yeah, okay, all right, what's he gonna do?
Okay.
So, yeah. So no, you're 100% correct in that. Yes, that got him fired. It's like House, right? Like House would have been gone. Like there's no way he could have lasted for those 7 years or whatever along the show. Where
you a dope fiend, as Judge Joe Brown was saying.
Yeah.
Working at a hospital? No.
If it was madness, you're automatically a crackhead. It don't matter what your drug is. You're smoking weed. You're like, hey. Yeah, that was good. Yeah, no, it was one of those things where it's like, you know, my wife and I were just together. We watched it. It was so. We continued watching, and another one I'm not feeling is called Dr. Odyssey. I'm just kind of like, I don't know if network TV is really for me when it comes to the drama stuff. Like, I would not watch this on my own. Like I said, it was something me and her were together, and like, I know the stuff that I watched is not really for her, and the stuff she watched isn't really for me, right? So that's why I have so many TVs about, right? Kids can watch what they want to watch. Wife and I can watch something different, you know. But like I said, we were sitting together a lot this week. So, but yeah, that one I'm like, okay. Like I probably won't watch it again until it's just out and watches it with me. There was I think there's a gap for High Potential because I was playing about High Potential. Did you start watching it? Did you start watching it?
I didn't progress yet. I've been doing a lot, so I've not been sick. But anytime I sit on the couch, I fall asleep. It's been the past couple of weeks. I've been taking so many cat naps. It's ridiculous. So
you are sick. Your sickness is called AIDS.
Man, listen, it's so frustrating because I'll then wake up and I'll be on episode 3 or 4 or 5 of the series that just started. I'm like,
yeah,
so frustrating.
Yeah, man. Playing a little bit of Madden, man. So like this week they did that whole thing, and you pointed it out to me, and I had seen it not too long before you put it out to me about the whole Barkley backwards hurdle thing.
Yeah,
they added to the game.
Yep.
Yeah, and I'm like, it was an amazing play. Don't get me wrong, right? And the fact that Madden put it in there, that's cool. I need you to fix these other glitches you got in. Because like every time you do an update, the game reverts back to the old stuff that people hate. I'm like, are we back to balls going through hands again? Like you guys were good. Like the first
their engine is trash. They have to take a break. But what I think is going to happen is they're going to take the college football engine because everybody raves about it. Like that is actually a good game.
I think people like the environment.
Yeah, I was going to say, well, okay, I see what you're saying. Like the aesthetics are what are capturing people, not necessarily the gameplay mechanics. Because I have not heard any complaints about weirdness, like people jumping 10 feet high and balls going through hands. So I was just like, just take that one and then throw on the NFL aesthetic. I make it sound too simple, right? Programming, just copy and paste, done. Save as Madden.
I'm not convinced it's not the same, and they're just looking past it
Uh,
because you have so many people that like the college game. Like so many people love the environment and the bands and the cheers and all that, and I'm like, I don't need that. I need realism in my game. I need what I am controlling because I'm not controlling the presentation aspect of it. Yes, it is cool. Yes, I do want it. I do want it to be accurate. You know what I mean? And Madden is pretty good about this. Like when it comes to like team chants and stuff like that, they're very good at what is in there, right? Like Buffalo, they in there chanting all the time whenever you play them, right?
right.
Like they're going at it, you know what I mean? But like it's crazy. Every update, I kid you not, man. And like it gets to a point where like in the fourth quarter, like nobody can be tackled. It's ridiculous to me. I'm like, yo, how are you
Unstoppable.
breaking? Like, yo, like I had it one time literally because like maybe a couple times I was playing, like my wife would come down and I'd be on the game or something like that, and she'd be like, wow. I'm like, yeah, you see this, right? Like I showed the replay and I'm like, broken tackle, and like. And the thing is, I'm like, okay, maybe it's me. Maybe I just don't know. So then I go to the depth chart and I look at the stats for these different types of things. And I'm like, he should have never even caught that one-handed. Like, it catches like an 83. Like, how'd that happen? Right? Spectacular catch is like a 70, you know. So you caught it with one hand, got hit immediately, spun off of that, spun out of a linebacker that has an 88 tackle, you know, stuff like that. And it's just like, what are we doing? You know what I mean? Like, I get it. Like, if I call the play and I beat you, let it happen. Take that L, right? You can't break 4 tackles to get the touchdown for 60 yards. Like, what is going on? You know what I mean? But yeah, it's getting on my nerves, man. But it's the only game out there. It's the only football game out there, and that's what I can't wait for. It could be anybody else that does an NFL game.
See,
I can't wait for them to lose
I don't
exclusivity.
want 2K to get it because like they're mechanically sound, but they will microtransaction you to death now. They got it down to a science. They are a casino.
I don't need it.
I cannot take it.
So for me, it's not a problem because the creative player stuff is not something I do. Right? So like I
Okay.
know a lot of people love that aspect of the game. Because like when it comes to 2K, when it comes to the basketball game, I know like if you
Yeah.
do the
The
whatever it is, I can't
ultimate
remember what
teams, all that stuff too.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't do it. Like I don't care about the ultimate team, the picking up the players. Like I'm a GM. And I find myself spending a lot more time doing that. I find myself spending a lot more time doing the GM aspect of it to where like I build a team and I'll leverage my future. I'm like the Rams where they're like F them picks. You know what I mean? Like you go and look because like something they've done lately is they'll do 3 years worth of draft pick, right? Which I'm like, that's cool. You know what I mean? Like that's very futuristic. You know what I mean? Because you have that now where teams will be trading draft picks 3 years out. So like you can look at mine after I've done all these trades and everything for my team. I might have like 3 draft picks for like the next 3 years. I've leveraged everything. You know what I mean? But just give me the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? That's pretty much been it for me, man. What about you? How was you?
Pretty good. But so I wanted to circle back just real quick on college football. I just saw a stat that's ridiculous. Did you know? Because there was $100 versions for you to play it a couple days early. So I'm cool with that. Like it sounds counter. Like I'm going to sound like a hypocrite. But here's my thing: I don't want downloadable content. I don't want microtransactions. But if you want to charge those people who want the game early extra $30, and that will somehow satiate you, cool. It won't be me. I'm not going to pay for it extra because it's probably broken anyway. So I'll wait. Let them beta test it and then give it to me. $100 version. They sold 2.2 million copies of it. So it might actually be the number one selling game of the year. And it came out during the summer, right? That's how desperate people were for college football.
Yes.
Like 2.2 million copies of just early access. So you got to think, what about the regular copies that were sold? Free. EA made so much money. And they paid the kids, which I appreciate. It wasn't a lot, but you had to pay every single kid on the roster. So I think it was like the equivalent of $600 per kid or something like that.
It was
Get a copy of the game. I'm down for that. For a college kid who will probably not go to the league, right? Getting paid $600 just to be in the game and whatever other endorsements they could do on the side. I'm down for that too. So I think in this regard, EA is doing this thing. The pro side, trash. So they figure it out, EA. But yeah, my week was fairly quiet, man. I'm just wrapping up for the holidays, right? Doing a bunch of research in the books, mostly catnapping. Every time I open a book, every time I crack a book, sleep. I'm starting to think that there's tranquilizers in the pages. Every time I crack a book, I go to sleep. I beat Space Marine 2. So Man, listen, I really think this is a Shannon game. Like it's a pro shooter to its core. Like there was this because it's always wrapping up, right? And like everybody has like these deep voices, like brother, do it for the like the emperor's blessing. Like so, it's like they're like knights and marines, and it's retro futuristic. The guns are ridiculously huge. A lot of combat. Like it just feels fun and good. Like it feels like it scratches that Gears of War itch I've had for the past couple of years. But it also does the big Hollywood stuff, right? So like one point we're fighting for the fate of the universe, right? Because that's what it comes down to. And I think he's a captain. Comes, he was like, on your way, I need you to pick up the standard. Like X troop dropped the standard. Like so they dropped the banner for the Space Marines on the battlefield. So we're going to take a detour from saving the universe to go get the standard because we cannot have it. And it's epic. Yeah, it's epic. We get to it. We're on a pile of dead bodies. He's holding the standard in one hand. He's pulled out the humongous pistol in the other. Like when a portal opens up and all the bad guys start flooding in. I'm just headshot. It's just so epic. The music is swelling. I'm like, this is definitely satisfying that itch. I'm like, this. I will play Space Marine 3. You got a fan now. I'm a Warhammer 40K fan now. So and there's rumors of a movie being made. It's a long time franchise, so it's been long overdue. And a Henry Cavill wants to be in it. So I'm like, okay, you get Henry Cavill, you get Batista, you put them in giant mech suits. I'm down for it. I'll go to the theater and watch that.
So I got a question. Is Henry Cavill like a really big video game guy? Because I know with Witcher, with The Witcher, he was very, like he didn't continue with it because they weren't keeping true to the source material or something? Like, what was the deal with that?
It was also shooting. Like he was having conflicts with shooting some of the Superman stuff with it too, or something like that. But yeah, they veered off. Like I'm not a big Witcher fan anyway. Like I never got into it. It's high fantasy. I'm a big sci-fi guy, so I usually don't play those games. I might play Witcher 3 because it's still considered a standard, like a classic standard in gaming. So I may one day, but I looked at it. It's like Assassin's Creed. Like all them question marks and icons pop up, and I'm just like, I can't take my OCDs. Like nah, because I have to go to each one of those things. I have to. But yeah, he's a big game nerd. Like they show him break down his PC. Like he has a YouTube video where he pulls out his PC and he's breaking it down, upgrading parts and stuff like that. So you gotta think Superman. So he's humongous. So it makes the computer look extra small. He's in there tinkering around with it. So he's a big nerd. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, but that Superman money probably built a really good PC though.
Yeah, exactly. He's got the best of the best. But yeah, he's the one who asked to be in Warhammer 40K. So like he's like bringing things into like, and he's breathing life into certain genres and certain games.
So is he gonna be a producer as well then? Like when he does stuff like this? Like I'm curious. Like
I don't know.
He'll have more say because if he's the producer, then he can dictate the direction better.
Right. Make it more authentic or whatever. But yeah, I like it, man. Like I think he's doing a good job in that field. Like keep it up. What else? We talked about the Pope's Exorcist last week, so I watched that. One of the best horror movies in a long time. It was coherent. It was well acted. Special effects were off the chain. Like
Russell Crowe, right?
Yeah. I was really surprised.
I've seen that, and like I didn't mind it, but a lot of people were not fans. It was okay. Yeah, a lot of people were not fans apparently.
Because usually they're either they get dumb or they get incoherent, and I still watch them. I like them. I like those type of movies. But this one, I was at the end of it. I was like, it's really good. One of the best of that genre, right? So I was like, I'd watch a sequel if they did one. Which I don't know if they maybe do a prequel. I don't know. But yeah, turn that into a franchise instead of and I watched the Annabelle stuff, but there's too many of them. Like you gotta curb that one. Like you got Annabelle and The Nun too. Like it's a humongous cinematic universe of scary movies that all tie into each other. It's getting kind of
all tie into each other.
Yeah, they all touch each other. Yep.
Really? Okay, I was not aware of that.
and they're good for the most part. Don't get me wrong. There's just too many of them. Like I'm missing. I got gaps. I'm just like, there's just too many of these movies popping up. It's like the kind of like, so what is it? It's The Conjuring, right? So The Conjuring, Annabelle, The Nun, like that's a whole universe to itself.
Annabelle's the doll, right? The haunted
Yeah.
doll.
Yeah, because so if you watch The Conjuring, there is a husband and wife that are like mediums. They go into houses and one of the houses had Annabelle doll in it, and they had the painting from The Nun too, and like they become spinoffs of this franchise. Sometimes they come back in those movies as well. Shout out to The Nun 2. That was actually pretty good though. Like The Nun 2 is better than Nun 1. I'm not gonna lie, because Nun 1 was incoherent.
Very rarely do you have a sequel that does better than the original. Like, that's very rare.
But I like Nun 2 was much better, and it was actually had a lot of good scares in it too. But I digress. I'm off. Where was I going with this? Oh, so yeah, I watched Pope's Exorcist last week. Yesterday I watched the new Bad Boys show on Netflix. I don't know if you've seen it yet.
Did actually, you know what? Yes, I did. I forgot about that. I did watch that.
It's really good. I stopped at
the new one.
It's not as good as the other ones. It's like missing something. But action wise, I thought that they did it because they do this thing, right? Like nowadays, they like to top themselves, right? So they're putting the camera in new places. Like I swear they just stuck a camera onto guns. Sometimes they just run around with cameras.
They did because Will is doing that. Like it flips even because like it's like a first person shooter game.
Okay.
So my wife and I were watching it, and she's like, "I don't like that." I was like, "Yeah, it's like that first person shooter game." And then the camera flips, and it's him, and you see him doing this thing. And I'm like, "Okay, I don't like it. I liked it the first way. I didn't like it."
Right.
I did watch that, but I was kind of like, and here's the thing, right? Like, and picked up on them. I don't know if you saw the Michael Bay thing yet. Did you pick up on the director?
Yeah, I'm 20 minutes from finishing it, but I think I did. Was it when he was backing up through the street?
The guy, no.
He was like, I can't die.
Yeah,
and then
the guy in the Porsche, the guy that was
okay.
It looked like the original Porsche from the first Bad Boys. It looked like, but yeah, that blonde guy that he hits the car and he's talking to him like it was out of nowhere. I was like, I think that's Michael Bay, and I had to look him up, and I was like, yeah, that's him. I showed it to my wife. I was like, yeah, it's him. But I don't know, man. I was not as thrilled with this one as I was the other one. The third one I really liked. I don't know why. I don't know if it was because of the story and what they had to do, but I did watch that. That was one of the things I did.
I didn't finish it because again, I was all into it and lights out. So I got to go back and watch the last 20 minutes. So here's the thing though. It just feels like they have just they need a little bit more story. It feels kind of like the first three were more like the first Fast and Furious. And this one is more like the new Fast and Furious, where it's more the action than the story. It's got it gets a little incoherent. It's like, how is he holding that upside down, holding the rope? I was like,
It gets weird. Like you hit that on the head, man. Like it's like, I don't understand how you got to this point. Cause like there's the part where Martin, like when he is, has his thing and he sees a certain, incident or whatever it may be to where, did I do that? I'm sorry. I saw the thumbs up.
Yeah, the thumbs up.
Yeah. But, that part I was kind of like, I don't know about that. And then he comes out and like his whole, what he has been the last three movies has changed. He's like, nah, it's not the thing. Like, I can't die. Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I don't know, man. But like, when you watch the last 20 minutes, like you'll see. That doesn't last the whole movie. He's like, I can't die. So I'm not giving a spoiler to where anybody died or
right.
The way he feels changes. But yeah, I did watch it. I would like to see a little bit more story too. And I know that's crazy for me to say because I'm always like, just shoot them up or whatever.
It's a little loose, where it's just like we're focused more on over the top action or what have you. But I'm still enjoying it. It's still a fun ride. It's on Netflix, right? I didn't go to theater to see it, so that gives it a little bit of sway. It's kind of like watching the fight. It was on Netflix, so it was just like, man, I didn't pay pay-per-view money. T-Mobile pays my Netflix, so it is what it is. But I feel like before I land this plane, I got to talk about it. I got the PlayStation 5 Pro 30th anniversary limited edition bundle. That's a mouthful. So I got one. I got it the old-fashioned way. All I did was log in. I popped up in the virtual queue, and then when I went to check out, it was still there, still available. So I bought it. So very boring. I know. My console is number 11,483. They only made 12,300 of these bad boys, and well worth the money. Like, I know a lot of people are like $700 for a console is a bit expensive, and I get that. Because it doesn't have a disk drive, it doesn't have a stand. It's like you're just getting the console, and it's only so much better than the original. But this bundle, they threw in a DualSense controller. Everything has the custom colors. It's obviously numbered and etched. Just the finer details, like it said, you get a DualSense, you get the regular controller, you get a carrying case, you get charging cables. You get you get the charging dock, so I can charge two of them at the same time. Then you get a bunch of rando accessories, like nostalgia stuff, like cable ties that are shaped like the sacred symbols. You get a charging cover that makes it look like the old school PS1 controller, like you had to plug it into the console. It's dripping with nostalgia. So, and if anything, I think $700 is overpriced, and I think $9.99 for the bundle was under. I would have paid $12 or $14. Yeah. It's so, like, even down to the material, like the box.
The box was good.
The box weighs like almost 10 pounds.
The box was cool. Like, I saw the little bit of your unboxing that you did when you sent it to us, and I was like, wow. I was like, that is cool.
They stuck their foot in it. So, like, the whole pricing structure is kind of weird. And it's 2 terabytes, right? So you get in a whole extra terabyte and some change, because the original only had 800 gigs was because it was custom storage at that time. So you get a lot for $9.99. So I feel bad that there weren't a lot of them. A lot of people who wanted it could not get it. I did a whole unboxing. So the 51-second version of it is on YouTube now. That's about 1,000 views. But the video, I thought I was going to work with somebody, send it to him and have it done. I put out a bid. He bid, and then his counter was 10 times what I originally bid. So I'm going to do it myself. So, expecting not to look as good, to not be as polished, and for it to not be as done as quickly as I thought it would be. But I think people will really enjoy it. So it's an opportunity for people to see it who weren't able to get their hands on it, and I think it'll pull people to the channel. Come for the unboxing, stay for the cyber. We'll see how that goes. Probably be like a good 15-minute video, 15 to 20 minutes. So definitely check that out. But yeah, he wanted $20 a minute or something like that. And initially, I think my equivalent of would have been like $2 a minute or something like that. Like, so he jumped high. I'm sure it would have been amazing. You ain't getting that now. Now you're getting whatever I put together. It is what it is. But definitely check out that when you come back, or I'll put it in the newsletter as well. Like once it's done, I'll put it there. But yeah, that was my week. So hit up all the websites that go by our name: the other side of the firewall, the other side of the FW, Ask the CISSP, or ramcyber.io. You hit me up personally, I'm at RY Security Guy. That's RY Security Guy. You can find me on all the social media platforms just about, but LinkedIn is where I'm most active. So definitely hit me up there if you have questions or you want to talk. And then if you need a little consulting, I'm your guy. Hit me up. I'll help you out. Like we talked about the AI acceptable use policy. I got you. Stay safe. Stay secure.